press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
In the last class, we are learning about the chapter number 19, the freedom struggle, the Gandhian phase. We are learning about this. We already learned about the Gandhiji, the Rowlatt Act, and also the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. What happened? What tragedy happened in the Jallianwala Bagh massacre? We already learned about that, and also we already learned the non-cooperation movement, isn't it? Yes, today we shall learn about the Simon Commission. What is the Simon Commission and what purpose this commission came to India and why the Indians boycotted? What were the results? Let us learn about that. Okay. Next we learn about Simon Commission. Simon Commission. Simon Commission. Simon was later. This commission came to India in 1927. Simon Commission came to India in 1927. For what purpose this commission came to India? In 1928, this commission came to India. For what purpose the British sent this commission? So, the British sent this commission to bring some new reforms, some changes in India. To bring some new reforms or changes in India. For that purpose, British government sent a commission under the leadership of the Sir John Simon. Under the leadership of the Sir John Simon. For that purpose, this commission is called as Simon Commission. Under the leadership of Sir John Simon. Sir John Simon was the head of this commission. Sir John Simon. Under the leadership of the Sir John Simon, a commission came to India. Okay. This commission came to India in 1927. So, under the leadership of the Sir John Simon, for that purpose, this commission is called as Simon Commission. For what purpose this commission came to India? To bring some reforms or some changes in India. For that purpose, this commission came to India. So, in this commission has the 7 members. This commission has the 7 members. Okay. When this commission came to India, on that time, the Indians opposed this commission. In which place the commission visits and the Indians boycotted the commissions. Why did they oppose the commission? What was the reason for that? The main reason was, I already told, this commission includes the 7 members. These 7 members were all English members or they were all British. Okay. They came to India to solve the problems of the Indians, isn't it? But there is no single person of Indian. These 7 members were the British. They came from England. They came to India to solve the problems of the Indians, to bring some changes in India, to make some reforms here. Okay, but this commission has the 7 members, but there is no a single person of Indian members. It did not have any single Indian member. Okay, who knows the problems of Indians very well? Indian knows or the British knows? Our problems we knows, isn't it? The Indian problems, the Indians only knows very well when we compare to the British, isn't it? For that purpose, there is no a single person of Indian. For that purpose, the Indians told the British to appoint some peoples from India in this commission, isn't it? If you really want to bring some changes here, if you want to solve the problems of the Indians, you should appoint the Indians, some members. Indians also appoint in this commission, but they did not ready to hear the words of the Indians. As a result, the Indians opposed this commission. Where, in which place this commission visits, the Indians boycotted this commission. As a result, what happened? When they start the revolt, when they start the revolt against this commission, when the Indians start revolt against this commission, when they start to boycott this commission, at that time the British try to suppress this revolt, and they try to suppress it. On that time, some lathi charges were held in all over India. The Indians were already decided in which place this commission go. On that place, in which place this commission visits, then they boycott the commission. Okay. As a result, the hartals, movements, revolts started against this commission. As a result, the British tried to suppress these revolt, hartals, movements, etc. On that time, the lathi charges were held. So, in the lathi charge, the Lala Lajpat Rai was died. Lala Lajpat Rai. Who was Lala Lajpat Rai? Lala Lajpat Rai. Lala Lajpat Rai was died. Lala Lajpat Rai. Who was Lala Lajpat Rai? Lala Lajpat Rai was the leader of Punjab. He was one of the leader. He was one of the leader of Punjab. He was also known as the Lion of Punjab. Lion of Punjab. He took the leadership to boycott the commission of Sir John Simon. He took the leadership. He started the protest against the Simon Commission. He started the revolt. He started the hartals there in Punjab. When the John Simon Commission visited the Punjab, on that time Lala Lajpat Rai took the leadership and he started the hartals and he started the boycott against the Simon Commission. As a result, the lathi charges were held among the Indians. On that time, lathi charges were held against the Indians. As a result, he was died in this lathi charges. Okay, this situation enraged the Indians. So, especially this situation enraged the revolutionaries. This situation when the Lala Lajpat Rai was died in the lathi charge. So, this situation enraged the revolutionaries. This situation not only enraged the revolutionaries, and also this situation enraged the Indians. Okay, on that time, the revolutionaries, especially the situations enraged the revolutionaries. Who are the main leaders of the revolutionaries? For some of the important leaders of revolutionaries were, I already told, Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Jatin Das, Surya Sen, Binoy, Badal, Dinesh, etc. These were some of the important prominent leaders on that time. They are the prominent leaders of revolutionaries. So, these revolutionaries become very angry against this Simon Commission. Not only the Simon Commission, the death of the Lala Lajpat Rai. So, they decided to fight against the British. On that time, the Bhagat Singh, the main important leader of revolutionaries, he was Bhagat Singh. Bhagat Singh, with the help of the Azad, Chandrasekhar Azad and Rajguru and Shukadev, he took the help of and then the Bhagat Singh took the help of on that time, Bhagat Singh, with the help of Bhagat Singh, with the help of Azad means Chandrasekhar Azad, Rajguru and Sukadev. With the help of these peoples, Bhagat Singh planned with the help of the Chandrasekhar Azad, Rajguru and Sukadev. With the help of these peoples, he planned to kill the officer. Who had caused the death of the Lala Lajpat Rai. He decided. The Bhagat Singh was decided. He decided and also he planned with the help of the Chandrasekhar Azad, Rajguru and Sukadev. He planned to kill the officer who was caused the death of the Lala Lajpat Rai. Okay, and also on that time he fight against those officers and some officers were already killed on that time. Okay, so on that time he raised one of the slogan. He raised the slogan called Inquilab Jindabad. Inquilab Jindabad, one of the slogan given by Bhagat Singh on that time. The slogan was, on that time the Bhagat Singh was raised the slogan. The slogan is Inquilab Jindabad. Inquilab Zindabad. Inquilab Zindabad was the slogan raised by Bhagat Singh on that time. Okay, what do you mean by Inquilab Zindabad? Inquilab Zindabad means long live revolution. Inquilab Zindabad means long live revolution. This was the statement. This was the slogan given by the Bhagat Singh on that time. On that time he killed the many officers who were the cause of the death of the Lala Lajpat Rai. Okay, in this way the Indians boycotted the Simon Commission. Later the the Gandhiji starts one of the important movement. Gandhiji started one of the important movement that is called as Civil Disobedience Movement. Let us learn about the Civil Disobedience Movement. Civil Disobedience Movement was started by Gandhiji. Means the Gandhiji took the leadership of this movement. Civil Disobedience Movement. Civil Disobedience Movement. What do you mean by disobedient? Civil disobedient. What do you mean by obedience or disobedience? Obedience means to obey the order and rules of the British. Okay, disobedience. Here disobedience means refuse the rules, laws, order passed by the British. This was known as disobedience. Okay, Civil Disobedience Movement was started under the leadership of the Gandhiji in 1930. This movement was started in 1930. Means the Indians should not follow. The Indians should not follow the rules, regulations, laws which were bring from the British. We should not obey. We should not follow. Disobey the rules of the British. Okay. This movement was known as the Civil Disobedient Movement. Okay. Under this movement, Gandhiji started another movement that is called as Salt Satyagraha. Under the Civil Disobedient Movement, the Gandhiji started another movement that is called as Salt Satyagraha. Salt Satyagraha was started by Gandhiji in 1930. What is this Salt Satyagraha? Why did the Gandhiji started this movement in 1930? What was the situation on that time? Okay, so on that time the Indians produced the salt. The Indians made the salt and they used the salts. This was the situation. So what happened on that time? The British ordered the Indians not to prepare the salt. The British ordered the Indians not to prepare or not to produce the salt. Means the British took the monopoly production of the salt. The British took the monopoly to produce salt. And that time the British produced the salt, or they made the salt by the seawater, from the seawater. Okay, and they start to sell that salt to Indians, imposing the more and more tax on that salt. Understood the situation? The Indians should not produce the salt. The Indians did not produce the salt. Only the British, they have the right to produce the salt. Okay, they produce the salt and later they start to sell that salt to the Indians, putting more tax on that salt. So Indians opposed this. Indians start to oppose this situation. They were not ready to give tax. They were not ready to pay the tax on salt. Okay, to oppose this system, they started another movement under the civil disobedience movement, that is called as Salt Satyagraha or Salt Movement. Okay, the Gandhiji took the leadership of this Salt Satyagraha were also. So then the Gandhiji start his march from Dandi. The Gandhiji start his march from his ashram, Sabarmati ashram. Gandhiji first he launched this movement. For this movement he started the march from Sabarmati ashram. Gandhiji started his march from Sabarmati ashram in Ahmedabad. Sabarmati ashram. Sabarmati ashram. It is in Ahmedabad. At Ahmedabad. The Gandhiji started his march from Sabarmati ashram at Ahmedabad to Dandi. These places were in Gujarat. Okay. To broke the salt law, Gandhiji started his march. To broke the salt law, Gandhiji started his march from his ashram, from his Sabarmati ashram. His Sabarmati ashram was at Ahmedabad. From Ahmedabad, he marched to Dandi. Okay, so in that place, see, he started his salt Satyagraha in 1930. Okay, on that time Gandhiji walked from his ashram in Ahmedabad to Dandi. So later he reached that seashore which was at Dandi. Gandhiji at last he reached the seashore at Dandi. Then along with the thousands of people, not only Gandhiji broke the salt law, there the many people, the thousands of people already gathered in Dandi. Okay, along with these peoples, Gandhiji broke the salt law. Means Gandhiji made the salt. Gandhiji prepared the salt from the sea water. Gandhiji broke the salt law by making salt from the sea water. So not only Dandi, the salt law was broken. The salt law was broken all over the India. In many other places were also some leaders. They also broke the salt law. Means the other leaders were also prepared the salt in many places in all over the India. They broke the salt law by preparing the salt by the sea water. In Karnataka also, some of the leaders, they were also broke the salt law, especially in Ankola. In Ankola, the Kannadiga leaders, they were also prepared the salt from the sea water. They broke the salt law. This is known as salt satyagraha. Especially these satyagraha was started by Gandhiji. The many peoples were participated. So this agitation or this movement was known as civil disobedience movement. This movement was also called as civil disobedient movement. Under the civil disobedient movement, Gandhiji started the salt satyagraha. Okay. So when in this way, when the Indians broke the salt law, this situation enrages the British. As a result, British arrested many Indian leaders on that time. So the Gandhiji was also arrested. Gandhiji was arrested after the Dandi March. Why he was arrested? Because he broke the salt law, isn't it? He broke the salt law, means he made the salt from the sea water. As a result, the Gandhiji and some other leaders were arrested. Then the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel took the leadership of the civil disobedience movement. After the Gandhiji, when Gandhiji was arrested, at that time Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel took the leadership of the civil disobedient movement. Okay. Next, the other leaders were also joined their hands in this movement. Let us below who were joined their hands in this movement. Okay. Those were Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Jawaharlal Nehru, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Sarojini Naidu, etc. These were some of the important leaders. They took the leadership of this movement. The important leaders who were participated in this movement, those were, write down, those were Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Jawaharlal Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Sarojini Naidu, These are some of the important leaders. They joined their hands in civil disobedience movement. Okay. So then another war was broke out. Another world war was broke out. That is the Second World War. The Second World War was broke out in 1939. The Second World War was broke out. Second World War. In 1939, the Second World War was broke out. In 1913, the Second World War was broke out. Okay, when the Second World War was broke out, all the process was further delayed. It delayed the whole process which were held in India. So then again the British wanted the help of the Indians to fight in Second World War. Some leaders, some Indians, they were ready to join the hands with the British, or some are not ready to participate in this Second World War. But the Congress was disappointed or dissatisfied with the response of the government. The Congress, Indian National Congress was dissatisfied with the response of the government. So that on that time they started another important movement that is known as Quit India movement. The Quit India movement was started by Gandhiji. Okay, that is also another important movement, was started in 1942. Let us learn about that civil Quit India movement. Quit India movement. Quit India movement. Quit India movement was launched by the Gandhiji in 1942. In 1942, Gandhiji launched the Quit India movement. Quit India movement. Quit means go out from the India. Quit means go out from India. So here the Gandhiji raised the one of the slogan. Gandhiji gave the slogan that is do or die. The Gandhiji gave the slogan on that time, do or die. Do or die. For whom he gave this slogan? The Gandhiji gave the slogans to the Indians. Indians should die, do or die. Indians should do something to get freedom. Otherwise, they should die. Okay? Gandhiji gave a slogan. Gandhiji raised the slogan on that moment. That is called as, the slogan was do or die. Do or die. Do or die means the Indians should fought against the British and to win and got the independence, and win freedom, or they die. The Indians should die trying to get the freedom. They should die. This was one of the important slogan raised by the Gandhiji on that time. Okay, all over India means the Indians gave more response for this slogan, and also most of the Indians were participated in this movement. So later, on that time the British faced many difficulties. They were not ready to face the Indians. They faced many difficulties on that time. As a result, they decided to give the freedom to India. On that time, I already told, the many important leaders were arise, especially the Subhash Chandra Bose, one of the important leader. He came to an existence on that time. Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose was one of the prominent leader in this time. He was one of the important leader or prominent leader. He also fought against the British. On that time, he did not believe. Subhash Chandra Bose did not believe the India get the freedom through the non-violent methods. He believed that only violent method or only violent way we can get the freedom by the British. If we used the non-violent method, we did not get the freedom. This was the belief of the Subhash Chandra Bose. For that purpose, he was one of the revolutionaries. So he organized on that time when the Second World War was broke out. He also believed that with the help of the foreigners, with the help of the foreign countries, we can easily get the independence. That was one of the belief of the Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, for that purpose, Subhash Chandra Bose tried to get the help of the other countries. Okay, for that purpose, he meet some of the leaders of other countries. On that time, he visited Japan, Germany, Russia, etc. He tried to sought the help of those peoples. Okay, and also on that time he built one of the important army to fight against the British. That army was known as the Indian National Army. He built one of the important army. Then the Subhash Chandra Bose was ready to fight against the British with the help of the neighboring countries, with the help of the foreign countries. Then he built one of the important army. The name of that army was called as the Indian National Army. The Indian National Army was built by Subhash Chandra Bose. Who was Subhash Chandra Bose? Subhash Chandra Bose was one of the prominent leader of this time. Indian National Army. Indian National Army. This was the one of the army built by Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, who was Subhash Chandra Bose? Subhash Chandra Bose was one of the prominent leader of this time. Okay, he believed that through the non-violent methods we can't get the freedom. Only through the violent method we can get the freedom. And also he believes that with the help of the foreign countries which were enemies of the British, which were enemies of the England, took the help of those foreign countries, we can easily get the freedom. This was the one of the belief of the Subhash Chandra Bose. For that purpose, he tried to took the help of those countries, leaders of those countries. On that time, he visited the many other nations, especially Japan, Germany, Russia, etc. They were also ready to help the Subhash Chandra Bose. Then there he built one of the important army. That army was called as the Indian National Army, and also it is called as Azad Hind Fauj. This army was also known as Azad Hind Fauj. Azad Hind Fauj. Azad Hind Fauj or Indian National Army was built by Subhash Chandra Bose. So, in this fight, in this war, he was died. He started a movement against the British. He fought against the British. In his fighting, he was died. He was one of the prominent leader of that time. Okay. Next, later, when in this way the movement was started all over the India and out of the country also, then the British decided to give the independence to India. So now what happened and how they gave the independence to India? Let us learn about that. So before giving the independence, they partitioned the India, and later they gave the independence to India. Let us learn about the partition of India and freedom. Partition of India and freedom. Let us learn about partition. Partition means divide. First they divide the India. Partition of India. Partition of India and freedom. Later they gave the freedom to India. Let us learn about this point. Okay. So on that time, in 1945, the another conference was held here. In 1945, the conference was held at Simla. This was known as Simla Conference. In 1945, the Simla Conference took place. Simla Conference. In this conference, the Simla Conference took place in 1945 at Simla. Okay, for that purpose this is known as Simla Conference. What the British, what the Indians wanted from the British? Indians wants the freedom, isn't it? Indians wanted freedoms from the British. In this Simla Conference, the British only gave the provincial autonomy. In this Simla Conference, Indians wants the freedom from the British. Okay, but Indians wants the independent from the British. But in this Simla Conference, they only gave the provincial autonomy. Provincial autonomy was given to the Indians. They tried to satisfy the Indians by giving the provincial autonomy. The Indians were not satisfied by the Simla Conference because the Indians wants independence. They want the freedom from the British. As a result, again the Indians continued their movements, hartals here as a result. So on that time the Muslim leader Muhammad Ali Jinnah demanded for the separate nation to the Muslims. When the Simla Conference was held in Simla in 1945, then Indians were only given the provincial autonomy. They tried to satisfy the Indians by giving the provincial autonomy. The Indians were not satisfied by this. Then the Muslim leader, his name was Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the leader of the Muslim. He demanded for the separate nation for the Muslims. First you divide the India into two parts. Later please you give a independence to India. This was the demand of the Muhammad Ali Jinnah. As a result, what happened? In 1946, intern government was formed. Intern government was formed. So then the India was divided into two parts. One is for Muslims and another one is for the Hindus. In this way, the India was divided. Then the two countries were arise on that time. That is, one is Pakistan and another one is India. Pakistan for the Muslims, India for the Hindus. In this way, the British divided the country. Okay. So later, means on August 15, 1947, India got independence. Before the independence, the British divided the India. So at that time, many Indian leaders they opposed to divide the India, but the Muslims were not ready to hear the words of the Indians. Okay, they were not ready. The Muhammad Ali Jinnah was demanded, first you should divide the India and give one country for the Muslims. Okay, for the demand, on the demand of the Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the British divided the India into two parts. Then the two nations were arise. Those are, one is Pakistan and another one is India. Pakistan for the Muslims. The Pakistan become the Muslims country. Okay, the India become the Hindus country. After the division of the country, India got independence. India got independence on August 15, 1947. August 15, 1947. At midnight, the British gave the independence to India. So when we got the independence, on that time Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the first president of independent India. Who became the first president of independent India? Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Dr. Rajendra Prasad become the first president of independent India. Then the Jawaharlal Nehru become the first prime minister of India. Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru become the first prime minister of India. Then Ambedkar become the first law minister of India. In this way, many leaders they appointed as the ministers. Okay, on that time the first Jawaharlal Nehru taking the oath. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru taking the oath as our country's first prime minister on 15th August 1947. In this way, India got independence. Okay, this lesson was ended. Okay, thank you.